So, as I said, we have our first question up and added here. And you can type in anything you want. It just depends what you want the form to actually be about. So, you could ask anything. What's your favorite color? And then you can have them answer in 9 different ways. So there's 9 different types of questions. So you can have short answer, which when you click on it, you've got to type a response here. And you can still ask, what's your favorite color? And have them type it in. And in the box, you could, it makes it mandatory or not, depending on if it's required. And it makes sure there is some sort of writing in that question box. So that would be the short answer type. So if we'll add another question, we might type in 2. And again, if we're asking what is your favorite color, and we do it in paragraph form, that's our second option here for question types, you might say, what is your favorite color and why? Of course, there'll be other types of questions for different classes or different questions that you need answered by maybe parents or coworkers, and they might need to write it in paragraph form. You might not have to ask the question, why? But back to our question, what is your favorite color and why? You could click paragraph, and then as you can see in this little answer box here, it says long answer text. So it is expecting much more than what you would write for a short answer question. Question 3 now. Again, we could say, what is your favorite color? And our third option is multiple choice. So we have option 1 here. We could type red. Option 2, we could say blue. Option 3, we could say green. And they have to choose from one of those. So a lot of surveys and quizzes and tests have multiple choice questions. So those are fun and very easy to make up. Question 4 is our fourth type, and this one is a checkbox. So this one allows you to check multiple boxes if you want. So if we're going along with our same question, we might say, what are your favorite colors? And then maybe add a description somewhere, or make sure the kiddos know, or the other individuals, like, hey, you can check more than one box. You don't have to have just one answer. So that is something to keep in mind for that. Question 5. The fifth type is a drop-down menu. And I think a lot of us know what a drop-down menu looks like. We could ask the same question. What is your favorite color? Blue, green, yellow, and orange could come from the drop-down menu, and then you select one. A lot like a multiple choice question, just looks a little bit different on the answer sheet. Question 6. This type of question is a linear scale. So we could say, on a scale of 1 to 5, how much do you like the color red? And then we have our 1 to 5 here, and then on 1 we might say not much, and then on 5 we could say a lot. And so they know if you really like the color, we'll click 5. If you really don't like the color, we'll click 1. So a lot of times we ask things on a linear scale, we just don't see it written out sometimes. Question number 7. We have multiple choice grid. This is a little different. We have rows and columns, and a lot of times, we might say, what is your first favorite color? And there's different ways you can make sure you can check multiple different boxes. So we might have your first favorite color, your second favorite color, and your third favorite color, and you can choose which one each of those is and be able to check a box in each row. Question number 8 is date. So this one will be a little hard to do with our favorite color probably, but we could say what holiday is most related to the colors red and green? And of course, we all know that that would be Christmas. So the answer comes up in the form of a calendar. So on the calendar, you can either directly type the date or you can go to the calendar and find the date in that specific month. So we could write 12 for the month, for the day 25, and then for the year we could say 2016. Or really any year would work because Christmas is always on the same day. Question number 9 will be our final type of question, and this is time. So this has a little clock, of course, that shows up in your answer, or you can just specifically write the time. Going off of our color topic, we might say, what time do you wake up and get ready for school? You can type in the time, or you can do it on the clock here that we've got. So whatever suits you best, it's just nice to know that those options are there. Once we have our question, it is good to know what these buttons on the bottom of each question mean. And as you can see, they're on each question. Here's question 8, 9. These little buttons come up on all of them. And on each question, it means the same thing. This first one we have here means duplicate. So do you want to duplicate this question? Maybe it's easier for you to duplicate the question and you want to ask it again. You want to see if you'll maybe trick some of the kids or see if they'll even catch that you asked the same question twice. Or maybe you duplicate it so that it looks the exact same and then change the actual question. Whatever works best for you. Our next button to the right is the delete button. So maybe you write a question, you look at it, you read over it, and you decide you really don't like it. You can just delete the question and forget it was even there. Our next one here says required. And you can go through and make all of these required for a student to answer, and at least give you some form of answer. So you click on it, it goes to the other side, and when it comes up for the student, it'll have a little red star so that they know they have to fill this question out. You don't have to require them, and a student might not fill it in if they don't know the answer, and that's fine. It just depends what your preference is there. And then our last button is the 3 dots, which of course means more. And it says show description. So when we were up on our question where we could check multiple boxes, we might hit the description, and that's where we would write, you can check more than one box. It's a good little tool to remember, depending on the type of question you're asking and having them answer. Answer type. So for this one, it's time, or you can click and make it duration from this time to this time. So again, that might differ a little bit depending on the question here. So for our calendar question, we could say description, include time, include year. So that'll vary a little bit depending on the specific question, but that's the more that will show up on the side of it. Say you get all the way down, you make 9 questions, and you realize, okay, maybe I want to ask this 9th question about what time we get up for school as question number 1. So we could grab these 6 little dots here. You can see our little square cursor pops up. And we can grab it and we can bring it all the way up to the top. Now in this case, we might have to fix it because we've got 9, 1, 2, 3. So we might have to change the numbers there. But maybe that question works better there, and that's where you want it. So you can move any of the questions around to any place at any time. Now, as you can see, we are in the question column, but we can go over here to the right and click on responses, and you can see that you can collect responses. Here's where you'll see them, but of course this form isn't sent out to anybody, and so therefore I have 0 responses. If I would send it out, I could see how many people have completed it and responded to it. And that is where you could actually look at more information. And you could, if you had multiple responses, you could create your spreadsheet of all of them so you could look at them. And you could click on the more, and you could see that you can get email notifications for responses.